If you've ever wondered what you need to do in order to get rid of belly fat, then stick around to the end of this video because I want to share with you the exact steps I go through with my clients. Hey there, it's Fahad here from Fit with Fahad, and in today's video I'm going to share with you the steps that I put my clients through in order to help them lose body fat and belly fat. And basically I'm going to tell you all. I'm going to give you exactly the same steps I give my paying clients. But before we get started, don't forget that if you haven't already done so, please click that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Let's crack on with today's topic. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but I'm going to cover the basis on the 6 fundamental principles you're going to need to cover in order to see the body fat melt off and lose that belly once and for all. But before we get going, I want to make it very clear. This isn't a magic bullet solution, and you have to understand what's going on with your body. And if I ever got one question that I've been asked more than any other question in my time and career as a fitness professional is, Fahad, how do I lose my belly? And yes, whilst we're going to talk about losing belly fat, we're going to talk about losing body fat as a whole, because just losing belly fat alone isn't possible without focusing on losing overall body fat. And whilst I'm not going to get you to focus entirely on belly fat, there has been new evidence to show that the so-called myth of spot reduction may not be a myth after all. And I'll cover that in a future video if that's something you're interested in. So if it is something you're interested in, pop a comment below and I'll make sure I make a video on what spot reduction is and how you can do it. But the 6 principles I put my clients through, well, let's go through them one by one. The first one is getting in the right mindset. You've got to understand that it's going to be a challenge for most people. If you're sat at 30% body fat, or you've never been lean in your life, or you've been overweight and had belly fat for a long period of time, it's going to be a lot harder for you to shift that belly fat than somebody who's just recently put on weight but has been lean for most of their life. And one piece of advice I was given by some of the top coaches in the UK when I did their mentorship program and their training course is, for every year you have been overweight or have been not where you want to be with your body fat, in other words fat, add a month to your journey. So when it comes to mindset, yes, we're talking about being positive, we're talking about having the right mindset, we're talking about having the plan and all of that put in place, but we're also talking about having that mindset of patience and understanding that this could be a longer journey for most people than they think. The second thing we want to discuss is your nutrition. Of course, we want to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit. We want to help you lose that body fat, and in order to lose body fat, regardless of what diet protocol you choose, whether it's intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, high carb, low fat, whatever the basic principle of the diet is, the underlying factor in order to lose body fat and then ultimately belly fat, it's to be in a calorie deficit. So the diet is key. You've got to be in a calorie deficit. Number 2, sleep. Sleep is going to be crucial to losing body fat and belly fat. When you sleep, your hormones change, it fluctuates, the fat burning process goes into play, the muscle building process goes into play, your rest and recovery. And let's be honest now, if you don't get good sleep, if you wake up tired, if you wake up sluggish, you just want to reach for bad foods. Why? Because your brain wants quick energy, your body wants quick energy, so it's going to reach for the high fat foods, it's going to reach for the high sugar foods to give you that quick fix of energy. So good sleep equals positive results with your body fat. The third thing we want to focus on is your digestion. We want to improve your digestive health. So make sure that you are focusing on eating good quality whole foods. You're not eating junk foods, even though we're talking about being a calorie deficit and hitting your macros, etc. Just by eating in a calorie deficit, you lose weight and potentially belly fat, but we want to optimize the process. We want to give you the best chance at losing body fat and preserving or even building lean muscle tissue. So ensuring that your digestive health is on point is really important. And in order to do this, I recommend certain supplements to my clients. I recommend the right type of food to my clients. But just as a rule of thumb goes, avoid foods that are going to cause you any issues, such as junk foods, excess sugars, processed foods, bad fats. And if you know that there are foods that you're intolerant to, then just avoid them. So if you know you have issues with dairy, for example, or wheat, then avoid those foods. Now, I'm not saying avoid them completely. If you're good with them and you know you're good with them, then yes, there's place for dairy and place for wheat, etc. in your diet. But if you're going to be really serious about this, and I know this is a contentious thing I'm going to say, I would personally, if I was looking to get in the best shape of my life, avoid dairy, avoid wheat, etc. But like I said, that's a topic that's quite contentious in the circles of nutrition. But as long as you know that you haven't got an issue with those foods, then you can incorporate them. But if you know you've got issues with those foods, if you've got an allergy test done, avoid them because they're going to affect your digestive health. The next thing we want to do, we want to try and eliminate as much stress as possible. So this is external stress such as work, life in general, being busy all the time, financial stress, marital stress, all of those things. There's also internal stress as well. For example, if your diet's not good or if you're overtraining and you're not recovering and you're under recovering, your body's going to be in a state of stress. And why is stress so important to this process? Well, alleviating stress through just sorting your life out, making sure you're eating properly, having some sort of stress management system in place, such as yoga or relaxation or meditation or prayer, whatever it is for you, having some downtime, that is going to reduce the stress in your body. And when you are stressed, what the body does is it releases a hormone called cortisol, which acts as a stress relief hormone that basically is there to give you the energy you need to overcome the stressful situation. Now, the problem with cortisol is that it stimulates fat cells to hold on to fat, particularly in the stomach area. So if you want to lose body fat, we want to try and eliminate stress. And one key tip I'm going to give you right now is if you're a caffeine junkie, you're going to have to cut down your caffeine, because if you're always in a state of, being on edge from caffeine or stimulants and you're stimulated all the time, that's going to increase the cortisol levels in your body and it's going to affect your sleep as well. So there's a great tip for you. And the last one we're going to talk about is training. The right type of training is important as well. We want to pack on muscle tissue, so you want to basically do exercises that are going to help you, that are going to be the right type of exercises for you, that don't elevate your cortisol too high, that don't decrease your other hormones that help you burn body fat, that don't decrease your basal metabolic rate over time by, eating away at muscle tissue, like too much endurance exercise. For example, marathon runners have notorious levels of cortisol in their system, and they also have low levels of muscle tissue on their body compared to, say, a sprinter. And because of this, when they retire from training or from competing, they put on a lot of weight faster than any other athlete because they have less muscle tissue, less testosterone in their system, etc. So the right type of training is really important. So just to recap, if you want to lose body fat and if you want to lose belly fat, make sure you got the right mindset. Make sure you're eating the right type of food. Make sure you're sleeping properly. Make sure you're getting the right foods for digestive health. Make sure your stress levels are in check, and make sure you're training in the right way. So that's what I recommend to my client, and that's what I'm recommending to you to lose that belly fat and that body fat. So hopefully you got a lot of value from this video, and if you want any more elaborations, anything I've said, or you have any questions, pop a comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. So as always, at the end of these videos, I love you and leave you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Click like, share this video with your friends if you like it. I'll really appreciate you for that. But until next time, sweat more, suck less, and stay awesome.